Hello and welcome to Lifetime Uncorked, the podcast where we discuss your favorite made-for-TV movies. Whether you love to hate watch or hate yourself for loving them, pour up a glass of your favorite cocktail and join us. I am your host, Patrick Serrano, and my guests today are...
I am Drew Current.
I'm Shan'ann Farr.
Yes.
Yep.
Back again.
Back at
Again
it.
with some true crime.
True crime, murders.
Ripped from the headlines.
Rip from the headlines.
But just to be clear, this is not a true crime podcast. There
No.
are so
No.
many of those, and there's a lot of very good ones, and you listen to those for that
And you
kind
know,
of stuff.
they're like really good about researching the crime.
Yeah.
I just watched the movie and then the
Yeah,
documentary after, and that's it.
I just watched the movie and I'm just like, nope, if this is what Lifetime is giving me. This is fact.
Yeah,
And it's
we take
fact.
Lifetime at face value.
Value.
Okay.
I am, because I know what this one is.
Yes.
I am very familiar with this case.
Perfect. So you're our
I
expert.
got obsessed with this.
I've
You're our
never
expert.
heard of this.
I heard about this because the video, we'll talk about it, but like the footage of him like and he did like an interview with like the news or something.
Yeah.
And he was like so cool, calm, and collected that it was like very suspicious.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what I remember. But we'll
yeah.
get to it. We're going to have some light fun at the top so we can get into the dark content of this Lifetime movie. And just a reminder, we're making fun of the movie, not the actual crime, which is horrific and terrible.
Yeah.
You really can't make fun of it. It's
No,
not,
you can't.
There's nothing
Yeah,
to make fun
actually,
of.
you know, I don't even know what we would make fun of, but
I mean, I'll make fun of fucking douchebag, but
I'll
but
make fun of the actor and the choices.
Sure.
Oh,
in this
yeah.
movie.
It was
were
interesting.
There were some weird choices.
It was. Okay, so we have a review again because, like I said, we got some great reviews over the holiday
Yeah.
season. So this is our most recent review. Drew, would you go ahead and read that for our friends?
Yep, I will read it because I'm the only one that can see things in the room. This is from January 23rd. It is the person's name is Red Heart, Orange Heart, Yellow Heart, Green Heart, Blue Heart, Purple Heart, White Heart, Brown Heart, Poop Emoji.
Oh, all the hearts and a poop emoji.
And then a poop emoji.
You know, that's like the perfect emoji combo.
Yeah,
for this
and
podcast.
it's like done in
Unicorn
it's
poop?
done in a it's a rainbow.
And the new ones, the white,
white,
and the brown,
brown, and
The white
the
and the brown.
white, brown, and the poop
So
emoji.
this person's with it.
They're with it.
They're down.
Let's see. I don't watch Lifetime or Hallmark movies, and I don't drink. But this is my favorite podcast. Please make more. The Advent Calendar apps spoiled me. Much love. And then we have a cowboy emoji.
Love it.
I want to say that's a. Wow, that's small. I don't. An
Let
elf?
me read the emoji part.
Cowboy emoji, elf emoji.
Okay.
Ghost emoji. This is an eggplant emoji.
Oh,
Ooh.
that means penis.
Yeah, that means penis. And clapping emoji.
Perfect.
Nice.
So,
I think whoever wrote that is a cowboy ghost with a big penis and likes to clap.
yep,
Yeah.
that's what I got
Likes
out
to
of
clap back.
Them cheeks.
it. Them cheeks, though.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, person with emoji names.
Yeah.
We love you, and you know, keep on keeping on.
And you don't have to drink
No, you don't have to drink.
to
gosh,
listen
no.
to this.
We drink to keep ourselves entertained.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't drink every episode. Okay. We're called Lifetime Uncorked. And actually, on the blog, I do a rating, which is like how many wines required for the movie. And one of the directors like retweeted me and was like, really? 5 wines? I think you have a problem. And I was like, first of all, don't judge me. But second of all,
First of all, you're right.
I don't.
Second
You know
of all,
what? That makes so much sense because every time I do it, I usually go last, or like I'm usually the last person.
Yeah.
And you're always like in control of everything, and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh wow, great tolerance.
there's been a couple. There's been a couple
there's
where
been
we,
a few.
you know, we because we record these kind of like in one chunks.
Yeah.
And you know, by the end of the last one, you know, we've had a few, and we get a little giggly.
Yeah, usually if Sarah Reed is here,
Oh god.
that means I'm drunk. Because she's my best friend.
I love her.
That means Sarah Reed's here. That means you guys have already been drinking.
Drinking
Right
Now
before.
it's yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. But we are not drunk today because we have a very serious movie to talk about. The title of the movie is Chris Watts, Confession of a Killer.
Confession of a Killer.
It stars
Boy.
Sean Kleiser. I can't read.
Kleiser.
Kleier. Kleiser.
I've never seen him.
Ashley Williams, who is actually from Hallmark. So she left Hallmark and did the darkest Lifetime movie she could find.
Yeah.
Which I appreciated. I was impressed with her. She plays the wife. She plays, what is it? Shan'ann? Shan'ann?
Shan'ann.
I can't.
Shan'ann.
Shan'ann. I knew I would never be able to
I
remember.
wrote it in the corner.
His wife. Yeah.
Yeah, Ashley Williams. So she's from Hallmark. She does the Hallmark Christmas ones. She's actually like not Candace level, but I'd say she's like Alicia Witt level Hallmark.
Sure. Okay.
So she's in usually at least 2 or 3 Hallmark movies a year.
Gotcha.
So to see her on Lifetime, I was like, whoa. And then to be this person, I was like, whoa. Also stars Brooke Smith. Okay. I don't know who that is.
I don't either.
But, I'm sure she's a very nice person.
I'm sure she's very
You
nice.
go, Brooke.
Yes.
Get it.
So we have more ripped from the headlines series. The movie toggles between like phone video recordings, and by the Shan'ann woman who's missing, and then we see Chris like dealing with the aftermath. So it like toggles between. It's like doing like a creative air quotes editing to keep it mysterious, but we all know what happens.
Well, we knew. I know in the first clip, as soon as I saw like the power lines, what do you call that? Like
I think
the
power
nuclear
those like
the thing where Homer Simpson works, like you get like
the steamers or the nuclear steamer things. Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, it's him. Like immediately I was like, oh, okay, I already understand what happened.
Right. But like for some reason the director chose to like keep it mysterious or like do this like a lot of like found footage of like Shan'ann, because like she was a social media guru and she would like sold like fit tea on social media.
Yeah, she was all over the place.
So they used a lot of that footage, like camera phone footage.
Like the actual footage of
Not
it?
actual, like recreating
of
the footage. It was interesting. But Chris Watts, he is doing the interview, the one on camera that I was talking about. And it's like, he's like talking to the press and he's just like, I don't know what happened. I don't know where they are. And he's like totally not emotional or anything.
No, he's just like, I hope they're safe.
And it's like one thing to like not to hold it together and not be emotional, but like he was just like looking like kind of like cocky like about it.
Like he was explaining it like, I don't know, like, oh yeah, I like pressed like 75 at the gym today with my legs, like kind of very casual. And like the actor, I don't know if like I thought the actor was super weird or if this was just like a character choice of like the actual person. The actor who played Chris was so fucking weird.
I mean, to be fair, like this, like seeing all this crap, like the real guy.
Yeah.
Was he weird?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
there were lots
it was
of,
the
like,
same kind of weird shit. Like you'd be like, why is he saying it like that? Like like he would say words weird.
Yeah.
Like certain like emphasize
the wrong
syllable. The wrong syllable.
So and Chris, the actor, he's like very attractive, and I was like, I need to go like see if this man was attractive, and like not really, but like he's like built, like he like works out
because of her tummy tea or whatever she was selling. So like he was like taking it with his like protein shake every day. That was like a consistent thing in the movie. And I was just like, oh, that's weird. He's all roided up and like, because at first he doesn't seem like the type who could like get away with any of this stuff.
No.
Gosh, no. I would never think that he would even like go as far as to like cheat on his wife.
Yeah, he seems very mild mannered, and she's portrayed. Shan'ann is portrayed as like kind of a bitch. Like,
I guess they tried to portray her as that, but I got that she was like super bubbly and happy and just a great mom, and like
she like emasculates him. Like he'll be like, oh hey, I want to do this, and she's like, actually no you don't, and you're gonna do this and you're gonna listen to me.
They
and
did it in that
story.
one scene where he was like, I want to get like pizza or something. And she's like, no, we're gonna have 2 chicken salads. But like that was the only kind of bitchy thing that I got from her.
Bitch.
I mean, she sold like caffeine health pills.
Right. And she's like the breadwinner of the family with this social media stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like
I didn't think it was that mean.
I'm not saying it's mean.
Yeah.
The movie was portraying her as like I thought it was like emasculating him, which is like then giving some type of reason why this happened.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
That's what the movie is depicting.
Yeah.
That's probably not what it is in real life. And we'll get to it because I actually did some research on that.
Ooh.
I did do a little bit of research. Like I Googled the title of the movie.
And read the little wiki that popped up.
That's right. Yeah. So we then cut to... also, Shan'ann is pregnant, if we didn't say that already. Yeah. And they have 2 daughters.
Yep.
They're all missing. He's very calm and collected. Then we cut to him being questioned by the girl from Silence of the Lambs. Put the lotion in the basket girl.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, isn't that the same lady from Grey's Anatomy?
Yes.
Teddy. I wrote, oh my God, Teddy. I'm a huge Grey's fan.
Yeah, me too.
Like,
isn't that Brooke Smith?
Yeah, Brooke Smith, and her name in the movie is Tammy. She is running the lie detector and is basically the person who catches his lie.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that is also true, I believe, that this woman like really did this. So she's like setting him up for the hooking up to the machine and everything. And she's like, just so you know, like this is like gonna work. So if you're lying, like I'll know. So
she was still so friendly though and professional. She was just like,
that's sympathetic.
She was sympathetic. She's like, this is how it works. And like she did was like, we're gonna know the truth whether you tell us or not.
Usually those people, what are they called? I forgot.
The lie detector folk.
Sure. Well, because it's not a lie. Like they don't detect lies. It detects deception.
Right.
Or it hints.
Stress.
Yeah. It detects like it knows it's off. Like something is off.
Yeah.
But that's why they can't use those. They can't use them in court. Like you can't use lie detector tests in court. So.
Right. So, we get Shan'ann like kind of running the household and stuff like that, like shots of her doing that, and Ashley Williams is like being like you're right, she was like very like positive and like pretty, and she seemed like a nice person. But eventually she goes to like North Carolina for work or something. I'm not sure why. She goes like to stay with her family
for like tummy teas at a hotel or something near her family and maybe his family.
Yeah, the family stuff. Like the movies.
I thought she went to. Yeah, was she going to a convention or something?
Something like that.
Yeah, she was going to a convention, but I think both of their families lived near it because like you don't see the convention ever. You don't actually see her like working, but like she's with both of their families, it seems, or maybe his family.
Right.
Yeah.
And Chris is just like home alone. He's like working out. We get a great scene of the actor working out with his shirt off and getting all sweaty, and I was like, thanks, Lifetime.
Great.
Thanks for making me like kind of like lust after this murder. But I'm like, it was less sexy, more like roid ragey.
Yeah.
Well, like he was like feeding his dog. Does he like see that lady first and then like
his coworker,
which I didn't understand. Where was he, like a forest ranger or something? He like flirts with this like receptionist or something. The receptionist, she's like this like cool young girl who's like not really down for the bullshit, but like, oh, he's cute, but like he's dumb.
He's married though.
Well, he did like a construction worked in construction.
Yeah,
and
she
stuff.
wasn't like a bimbo, which I was glad about. Like,
right.
Like,
but
I thought
she
was,
still gets it.
She still gets it. And then like he goes home and he's like watching porn.
Yeah.
In his like nice empty house.
His big empty house watching porn like on the TV.
On the TV with the volume up. He was that comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay,
He's
we
like,
see what Chris is doing. Wow.
I can finally watch my porn.
While Shan'ann is gone.
Yeah. Was he like even doing anything? I think he was bored. So then he starts to text the receptionist.
Right.
And then, like they go on a hike or something. He's all tired and shit.
Yeah, it's like out of shape.
Yeah.
But they're like starting to hang out, and Shan'ann is well connected with social media and stuff, so she has an app that notifies her anytime she gets like a charge. Anytime a charge is placed, she gets notified.
Yeah.
So he's like out whining and dining this coworker, and she's like, I noticed that you spent like $80.
Oh,
That's
right.
weird. And he's like, oh, I just bought drinks for me and my friends. No big deal. And she's like, okay, well, like we're on a budget. So
Okay, like chill
maybe
out.
don't do that.
We weren't supposed to use that card. Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But the things with the coworker are escalating. Her name's Nikki, and she's like sending him pictures of her in lingerie.
Yeah, she seems a lot younger.
Yeah, she's like, having fun with this
She's doing her
man.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she gets a conscience out of nowhere, and she's just like, you know what? We can't do this. You're married and you have kids, and I realize I'm taking things too far.
Oh, wait, so he tells Nikki his little sad piece, like basically like,
he says they're separated.
They're separated. We're trying to figure out things with the house. Like, he convinces her that, like, he's not with Shan'ann. I don't think he even tells her that his wife is pregnant.
Right.
Yeah, no.
So, like, Nikki gets the conscience whenever she goes to their house for the first time. And she's like, oh, shit, this is some nice stuff. Like, wait a minute. Like, I don't know. This doesn't look like you're separated.
Like, you got the house? That's weird.
Really?
Yeah.
But he sends her, like, flowers, and it's, like, the most pathetic bouquet of flowers I've ever seen. And she was like, okay, I'll go back to you.
Yeah, and they go, like, on a camping trip or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he, like, is, like, in the tent, like, on the phone Googling, like, when to tell someone you love them.
Which I was like, that's really weird, because he's done this before with his wife.
Yeah, but sociopath, you got to be reminded.
Right.
You got to learn how to do it.
Like, he has no social cues, or he has to Google, like, how to connect. So then he, like, tells her he loves her, and then they, like, make out on, like, a rock or something.
Yeah, looks uncomfortable.
Hot. That's hot.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, the movie, like, there's a lot of stuff like that where he's, like, a romantic lead, but it's like he's a killer, though.
Yeah.
So I don't really want to see him making out with this girl and, like, working out shirtless. Like,
I mean, if I like seeing that, I'd be like, what a piece of shit.
Right?
They, like, up the sex on this one. There was a lot of sexy stuff.
Sex.
Well, I mean, whenever they can.
Sure, but it's like, not that I don't want to feel it's not sexy right now.
I feel weird.
It's weird. And so Chris goes down to North Carolina, and because he's like has to check in with the family. He's acting like nothing's wrong, but it's like pretty tense, right?
Yeah, he like pops out the car and he's just like straight to the kids, ignores his pregnant wife, who,
Yeah, and she's like, you haven't asked me about the pregnancy. You haven't done anything. She, like, point blank is like, do you even want this baby?
Yeah.
And then he's kind of like, no. And she's like, what the fuck? Like, we said we were going to have this baby together. Like, you really wanted this baby, and now you're, like, not even involved in anything. And he's like, I just need time to think things over.
Yeah, you can't unthink the baby.
Right.
I mean, you can, but not at this point.
So we flash back to lie detector with
unthink the baby
with Tammy, and she starts asking questions about Shannann's disappearance. And as the questions are being ticked off, we're getting the like flashes of the footage from the beginning of the movie, and then she basically tells him, she's like, I know you're lying about something, and I need you to just tell the truth.
Yeah.
She's like, I can tell you're lying. So we need to, like, get to the bottom of it.
Because you're not good at being a sociopath.
No.
You're not good at being a person. Well, no, you're good at being a sociopath. Just not good at lying. You're not good at being a person.
No. So next we see Shan'ann getting dropped off at her house by a friend at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And then the friend calls, and this also really happened. The friend calls on a wellness check for Shan'ann, because the next day she doesn't go to work. She doesn't answer her phone.
She like creeps into like her like house. She can't get in. She like looks in. She's like, no, I see her shoes. I see her shoes.
Right. Things are not right.
Something wrong.
And this whole scene is shot with police body cam. Like a body cam footage. So this was another interesting choice where it's like trying to make it feel more documentary.
I wrote, okay, body cam.
Right.
Well, it's like, what?
Unnecessary.
It was weird, but also it just made you so much more uncomfortable. Like, so the police was like, hey, we can't like come in until like somebody's home. Like, the person who owns the property. And so Chris pulls up in his truck. And it's just so casual, like doesn't acknowledge anybody, walks right into his garage, does he like do something to his car, like take something out of the car?
Yeah.
And like her friend is like looking in the car, like, is she in the car? Like, what is happening? It was
freaking out.
Weird.
The friend's like freaking out.
Yeah.
Because Shannon's car, phone, wedding ring are all in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
And he doesn't even like acknowledge the police. He just walks by them, and then they're like following him, like, can we come in? And he's like, whatever.
Yeah.
And then he just goes and like makes a sandwich and like, you know what I mean?
Right,
like,
yeah, like the police officer's like, oh, hey, like I just want to check every room to make sure she's not passed out anywhere. And so he's walking around. This is the part where I kind of got confused. So did they go to a neighbor to check security footage
I think
of
so,
the
yeah.
backyard?
Yep.
So like they were trying to see if she left, and on the footage she never left. And like he was loading something into
in the car at like 5 a.m. or something.
5 a.m, like, but they were like, okay, like this is really weird. Whatever.
Bye.
See you later.
Yeah.
And it's weird, like, because they had checked it. Because the neighbors had a security camera like facing that house.
Yeah.
So then, when it wasn't until like later, they're like, "Where the hell is?" And then there was no evidence anywhere, like that they could find in the house or in his anywhere, nothing.
Right.
And so they just like didn't have a reason at all to like get into his like
His
search and like do all this stuff. So they were just like, "Hey, neighbor, we noticed you have footage of the house.
And
can we look at it?"
Was that enough to get like a search warrant then?
Eventually, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Well, that's why you should have cameras, okay? Just be careful with your neighbors. They could be crazy killers.
Right.
So we're back into the police custody. We cut to Tammy again, and Chris is like, I had an affair. And the detective's like, I didn't even ask you about that. Like, why are you bringing this up? This is strange.
Yeah.
And she calls in the police, and the police come. And then basically Tammy like leaves the room, and his father comes. And the father like goes in the room with Chris, and they sit and they talk. We don't see what's said.
No.
He just leaves. He leaves the interrogation room, the father, and like holds onto the wall and like has a breakdown and like falls on the floor like crying.
Yeah.
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 So did he like tell the father what happened?
So he does like in the
in real life.
In real life, his dad. There's like, if you ever are interested in it, there like all of this, all the real footage, everything, you can find it. But it's like his dad goes, because this is after like a while.
Yeah.
Where they're like, where the fuck is she? Like, dude, where the fuck is she? You were the last one to see her. Where the fuck is she? Because it's like, there's no way that she would just ghost, because she was too
socially connected.
So she had no what is it, proof of life print or life print or whatever.
Okay.
They call it, where it's like if someone goes missing, eventually you're gonna, if they're actually just missing and not dead,
they'll ping something.
There's gonna be some kind of life footprint that that happens, right? On their phone, especially with someone who's super connected socially like that.
Yeah.
And so there's just like nothing. Like she posts every day, like almost every other hour is she's like posting something to, you know, whatever. She's just on it.
Right.
And all of a sudden she's nothing. And there's like, come on, dude.
Right.
Come the fuck on. And so that was like,
and she's pregnant.
So so even his dad, and she's pregnant, and then they're like, also, where are the kids, dude? Where are your fucking kids, and where's your wife?
Right.
Like, and so so it's just like so insanely like clear that something happened.
Right.
To the point that his dad even was like, let me talk to him. And there's a whole like recorded thing in the room of him just being like, hey buddy, like, I love you, you're my son, but like, what the fuck happened, dude? You know, like, is going like, really, what the fuck happened?
Interesting that they had that footage, but they didn't like recreate that, because that would have been interesting to see.
Well, they tried to make the father turn against Shan'ann.
Yeah,
they were like, well, she was difficult. You're like, when?
Right,
when was she ever difficult with you?
Well, and a lot of it was like the dad was like, I mean, he just tells him in it, like, he just says like, I don't know, I think he did a bad thing, Pops. He's like, what? You think you did a bad? What the fuck did you do, son? Like, it was
got it.
It's
okay.
Fucked up.
Damn.
So Chris admits after the father comes, he goes with a story that he tells the police. He like claims that Shan'ann was strangling his child, and then he killed her to stop her from killing the child.
Right.
Yeah.
And the police are like, he directs them to like where the kids are, like in like a what is it?
The power
thingy, like
it was an oil drum.
Yeah,
the oil drum at the power plant.
And he's like, that's where they are.
A fucking oil drum.
I wrote a water tank, but I guess it's oil.
It was, yeah, it looked like a water tank.
That's terrible.
It was so sad.
Very sad. And like, you know, you get the police going to the thing and like, we didn't see anything. I was like, thank God, like I don't need to see that. But it seemed like they were going to go there because they like had the body bag and everything. I don't know. It was wild.
It was stressful.
And the detectives are still like, oh no, like he's saying stuff, but he's lying still. We're going to like question him one more time. And then they question him one more time, and the movie cuts to a depiction of what happened. Okay. Yeah. Which is a choice. Yeah. And I was like, this is not a choice I want to see.
Yeah.
So the movie depicts the night of the murders. We have Chris and Shan'ann. They're fighting over his affair. Shannon's threatening to keep the kids away from him. She's like, I'm going to take away the kids. I'm going to take away the house. Like, you think you're going to get... Yeah, I'm going to tell everyone. You think you're going to get away with this. You're the one who fucked up, and you're going to look like a loser idiot.
Yep. Facts.
And she is going for him. You know what I mean? Like, they depict it like Shan'ann is like coming at him.
Which
I don't think it's true.
Nope.
Yeah.
It isn't.
And it's like Ashley Williams is doing a good job here. She was so good in this. And he gets so mad he like strangles her. And they depict like a really, really long, like maybe 1 or 2 minutes of him strangling him. And I was thinking of you telling me how long it takes to actually strangle somebody to death.
Yeah.
And she's not resisting. She's just lying there like looking at him. And she dies.
Yeah.
And it's like so uncomfortable to watch because you're like, this really happened. Also, why is Lifetime like feeling the need to show us this?
Yeah.
They do it in like a artistic way where she's getting strangled and the whole room turns red.
Yeah.
Because he's seeing red or something.
Yeah.
And I looked this up because I was like, this is weird. Why did this happen? But apparently she really did like not fight back because she didn't think he was going to kill her.
Yeah.
Which you're like, wow, that's really fucked up.
The idea like that's like fucked up. And they found that because like when they found the bodies and stuff, it was like, oh, she like there was no resistance.
It's wild
on this. She was like, fucking do it, dude. And he just is like, fucking, because it takes, and that's why like strangling murders are punished so harshly. Right. Because it takes more than 5 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
To kill someone. Like, you can make someone pass out pretty quickly, but to actually make them dead from that, you have to keep doing it.
Right.
Until there's no more, like, until they're done.
Terrible.
Yeah.
So it's like, you have 5 minutes to stop.
I was so shook about, like, the children. Because it's like, okay, he was cheating on his wife. He clearly didn't want to be with her. But what did the kids do to make him go as far as to, like, take them to an oil drum and just drop
They're
them
in the way. They're in the way.
They knew what was happening.
They knew. Because we get a shot in the movie of him driving with the kids in the backseat. Like, are you going to do to us what you did to mom? Yeah. And I was like, are we going to see this happen? Which we don't. Thank God we don't get reenactments of this. But it's like very to the edge. Like he's parking at the scene of the crime, the murder. Yeah. And then we cut to, you know, the oil drums. The Chiron with like, he's serving a life sentence, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But it was like very close to like this whole thing was just so uncomfortable. And it's like, what the fuck? What the fuck, Lifetime?
Yeah, that's weird. It seems like they left out a lot of stuff that like so... I mean, it just there's a lot of, because I get interested, like I'm love my true crimes,
right?
And like, but my fascination with it goes towards like how they figured it out, rather than the actual crime itself. I mean, those are horrible, and like that's not what I'm like, ooh, cool crime. Right. I'm like, wow, how did we get this fucking piece of shit? You know,
he was just so bad at it.
Yeah,
like he was just terrible and just like not a good like.
Well, he was caught fairly
quickly.
Like he fucked up a lot.
Well, I don't think it was very like well planned out either.
I thought the cops like kind of set him up to be like, was Shan'ann hurting the child? Did you do something to cover for her? Like, I thought they were tricking him to say like, oh yeah, I'm gonna coach this story. I'm gonna kind of
that's what they do
it to see if you're lying. Because
they'll give you and I'll be like, we know you're a good man. We know you're a good guy. We know this could only happen on you lost it. You went red. You didn't see anything, or you couldn't control yourself. You got so mad. You're the rage. And then they're like, yeah, I did it. And you're like, boom, you did it. Now we're going to fucking
Tammy's like, okay, so if your wife was choking her kid, you didn't call the ambulance. You didn't do that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tammy was good.
I think that's how it actually went down. She's like clapping in his face. You ain't do that. You ain't never cry. After the movie, I spent the whole night. I like told Tyler about it, and I was just like, I don't even understand why he like ruined his life. It's those stupid caffeine pills.
Mm-hmm. Like, Freud raging out.
What was
and these are so many of these murders that happen where it's like, just break up. Just break up.
There was no reason for him
I don't
to
know.
do murder.
He's clearly not a sane person. Yeah. So we get the Chiron, and it says like he's serving 5 life sentences without the possibility of parole for the murder of Shan'ann Watts, Bella Watts, Celeste Watts, and then the baby Nico Lee. Nico Lee. And that's the movie.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So before we do Pour It Up or Put a Cork in It, I have some things to disclose. So I looked at, first of all, 1.4 million views on this one at the premiere, which is okay. The movie...
That's almost as much as we got.
Right? I know. The movie...
We get per episode.
I thought was like, pretty well shot and stuff as far as like a director standpoint, but I was like, something feels fucky about this. And I found out that Shan'ann Watts' family was not involved in the production, and they actively spoke out against the production. So they said this. Their lawyer says, his name's something Lambert. Lambert says the family is caught off guard by the previews for the movie at they saw the movie at home over the holidays, like the preview. So they were like watching just like Christmas Lifetime movies, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh wow. It's been hard for them because they've been seeing those depictions, those advertisements during the holiday season, and they want people to know that at least from the trailers they've seen, it is not an accurate portrayal of their daughter, their grandchildren, or even Chris Watts himself. So they don't stand by the movie, and they actively spoke out against it. I'm sure they're probably litigating against Lifetime for some type of defamation.
Infringement of some kind, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I mean, because what you guys were saying, like, how you're explaining the movie, I'm like, that's not...
Well, and there was no follow-up with, like, the actual... There was no after documentary about it. It was just the movie, and that's it.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, something's fucky about that, too. So take that into advisement as we are doing our Pour It Up and Put a Cork in It. And we'll start with Tayshawn.
I will.
I'm going to cork it because the family wasn't behind it. I feel like there's just, like, a lot of missing objectives and, like... But why? I woke up literally 3 times that night, and I was just like, but why? Tyler, like, I swear to God, if you strangle me because you just want to cheat, like, I'm going to haunt you. Like, terrible, corking it.
Drew?
Yeah, I'm going to cork it, too. Didn't sound accurate. And I was, like, super interested in this because of how monstrous this monster piece of shit.
Total.
I mean... it was also an interesting case. Well, anyway, I'm corking it. I'm corking the movie.
Right. You could talk about the case all day.
I'll pour it up on the case because this is very interesting.
Well, and it was interesting with the detective stuff that you're telling me just from this.
Yeah.
That if there is a documentary about this case, I'd be interested to watch that.
And I think there's one coming out, I think, on Netflix.
I mean, this just happened. This was like 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't.
No, it was. He just got convicted like in 2019.
Right. So it's wild that Lifetime turned it around on this, and they're just being sensational. Kind of like
sounds like they're just trying to make it like artsy. It just sounds. You're like, what are you doing? What are you doing, man? Not
a good look, Lifetime. Like.
Yeah.
Not necessary. And like if you're gonna do something about this, like have something to say. And they didn't.
They didn't say anything about it really.
No.
I felt like it could have been like it would have been better if it was like based off of like this story. Like I didn't think it needed to be a true story.
Right. Yeah. So I'm also corking it.
Yeah.
not having the family involved. If you're gonna do a true rip from the headlines,
you need someone involved. You need a victim.
It.
You need something like the family or something involved.
Right, because that helped shape the movie, and this just had no. It was just
no
like
substance.
Yeah, just pulling in press stuff and stuff from.
Right. It's like they didn't do the research or something.
No,
where you're just like,
it's
I don't know.
If I made a Lifetime movie that was ripped from the headlines. Except I would never pick this one because it would be too dark for me.
It's very, very dark. It's very interesting though, the way that because it's such a more modern, like super fucky thing that happened. It kind of shows like a little bit more modern crime solving things. It's that's why I got like obsessed with it, is because of how all the little cool tricks that the detectives, the law enforcement did to get his like side, like the way they told his dad. They were like, look, maybe his dad, because he had a weird relationship with his, like very close relationship with his dad.
But that was interesting, and it wasn't even featured in the movie.
And that's where it's like, oh, he has like the way they just figured that out.
It should have been from the perspective of the detectives.
Yes, it should have been detective. Like that's because that is
give me a Law and Order-y type of shit going on.
Exactly. Like
I don't need to see this. It's like weird, like Royd, because it was kind of told from his perspective, and it's like,
and you're like, I don't care about your perspective. Your perspective is fucking douchebag, and you suck.
Right?
Yeah.
Fuck off and die in prison.
All right.
Anyway,
so on that note, let's do a Candace. Okay, what you say, Candace Cameron Bure? We were still dancing, but still enraged by this movie.
We were angry dancing.
Angry dancing and like screaming. Goodness. All right, let's lighten the mood with a Candace.
We were headbanging.
She looks like she's laughing at this one. I don't know what's happening.
I'm way too tired.
So that's 24
/drunk.
We have 3.5 hours left. This is bad, guys. This is bad.
Hi, I'm still at QVC. We have 2 shows left, and they're shorter shows. We have less than 5,000 units left. I know that probably sounds like a lot, but it's not, and it's going so quickly. So now's your chance, because this offer doesn't stay, but you can lock in that price for 3 full-size bottles of the Method.
Okay. So Candace is hawking some shit on QVC.
What is she selling? Like Method cleaner? Because I've got obsessed with like Point Blank.
I thought she was going to say meth.
I doubt it. Maybe meth.
I'd buy meth from
I'm
her.
selling meth.
Well, congratulations, yeah. No, but she was like on QVC for like 24 hours or something ridiculous.
Okay.
And like, hi, I'm Candace, and I'm here for 24 hours selling this product.
Oh, so that first one, she's just like,
I've lost it.
Yeah.
Which is how we're gonna feel today, recording so many episodes.
Yeah.
But just funny, and I really liked her orange jumpsuit. Looked really nice.
It did look nice.
She's wearing Chris Watts' outfit on QVC, right? All right. I think that wraps up this episode. I want to be done with this, and we're going to do a fun one next week, so don't worry.
Yeah.
We like planned this where we're going like really dark, and then next week we're going to do it's fun like that.
You know what? It's okay. We can go dark.
Yeah.
We can do that.
But, I mean, you're so right, Tajon. This one is like haunting, and it like sticks with you.
Yeah. It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's a horrible thing that this piece of shit did. But he's in prison now, so forever and ever.
All right, pluggy time. Anything to plug on the pluggy time?
I'm gonna plug once again. I'm gonna plug a friend because I'm not doing anything anymore ever again.
Me neither.
Talk my good friend who has a hair studio at Studio 32 Chicago. She gives bomb haircuts for fair prices, and she can like dye the fuck out of your hair. Check her out on Instagram at Studio 32 Chicago. If you're in Chicago, well, I guess this won't air at the same time. She occasionally does like photo shoots that are like really fun, and they're super affordable. They're like $20 for like 15-20 minutes of your time. So follow her, and if you live in Chicago, like, she does really cool stuff, and she's really great.
Cool. Sweet. Maybe I'll go.
You should. Drew, how about you?
You can find me at Drew But With Pants on Instagram, and also go ahead and just follow my band, The Limbos. I'm the drummer. So if you're listening to the music, the sound you hear of the drums, that's me. So
wow.
It's you.
You're like Animal from the Muppets.
That's how I play.
Woman.
In control.
Love it.
Yep.
All right. Thank you both for being here. And thank you, listeners, for checking back in with Lifetime on Court. We watch these movies, so you don't have to. But if you do, we can follow me at Patrick Miguel or the podcast at Lifetime on Court. Don't forget to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and call us at 872-267-4117. Okay. Bye.
Okay. Bye.